Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to NHL Tonight's first shift, the final first shift, I'm being told, of 2024. Here with Jason Demers, I'm Jamison Coyle. You're looking very festive. I love that sweater. It's very
baby.
1994 Lillehammer Olympics vibes is what you're giving off to me.
I'm an Olympian, so.
Well, yes, you are. Yes. No, it looks good. It fits the.
Yeah, you look festive. A little Blitzen for you there.
Yeah, a little Rudy.
Who's your favorite? Was it Rudolph or no?
It's got to be. You got to lead by example.
I'm a Donner guy.
Are you? Why?
Middle of the pack.
Donner kebab. Let's get some food to the set here. How about this though? Absolutely loaded slate of games, right? The final day before the holiday break, before we break for 3 days in the National Hockey League. 13 games on tap, and who doesn't love some matinee hockey over at the Rock?
Love
Ken Danico does, that's for sure. Rangers Devils rivalry in this one. Sometimes you get those 1 o'clock starts on a weekday. Little, an easing in process. Not with these two teams. This one had a little bit of everything, including this tilt here. How about Vinny Trocheck and Paul Cotter going at it? Just 4 minutes into the first, they would drop the mitts, and the festivities would be far from done. How about this, though? Paul Cotter, the Devils trying to get him going.
Yeah,
he's responding.
Responding. Little 17-game goal is Trout, but I like this from Troach as well. Troach has kind of established himself as the captain of this team the past few years, and I like him setting the tone early. This is a great rivalry. Good punch by Paul Cotter there. Caught the chin there. Caught him there. Paul Cotter's a big boy, though. He doesn't look big, but he's very sturdy, very solid. You like the way that Troach is playing, but, you want to see this from everyone in the lineup, not just Troach. Like, Vincent, you need him to be playing a 200-foot game and scoring goals. And, I don't know if I necessarily love seeing him do this game in and game out, because he's done it now 2 times in the past 5 games. But I'd like to see more from this Rangers team.
Yeah, this Rangers team.
Mika, hello, Mika.
Well, Mika, no Chris Kreider today, healthy scratch. So Peter Laviolette trying to pull all kinds of strings. Unfortunately, the Devils still have Jack Hughes, 1-0 jersey. Hughes, his 14th goal of the year. Devils strike first.
This all stems off a turnover in the neutral zone from your 4th line. Obviously, Quick wants this back. A little shot that goes underneath. This is one that Jonathan would want back. But you can't have a turnover in the neutral zone. And this is the identity part from Laviolette. You talk about scratching guys, but have an identity for your 4th line guys. This is it for Sam Carrick.
How about this? Sam Carrick, Brendan Dillon. Carrick was kind of, baiting him all period, wanting him to drop the mitts, finally obliges, and another good tilt here between these two teams.
Well, Brendan Dillon's a tough customer, and Sam Carrick as well. But Brendan Dillon, just such a great player. Traded for him once eons ago, and he has just turned out to be such a great NHL defenseman and a great player and a great leader. So you love seeing this from both guys. Sam Carrick, after kind of turning that puck over on the first one, good to see him come back and try to make amends.
Yeah, you could just feel the energy inside the Rock today. It was rocking. Fists were flying. Had a little bit of everything. 1-0 Devils on top after 1. Special teams would certainly play a big role in this rivalry. You've got the Devils with the second-best power play unit in the NHL going up against the top PK unit for the New York Rangers. Advantage power play in this one, including this, Timo Meier. How about that passing?
Just a nice little passing play down low and then creating a little bit of space. Rangers need to close a little bit quicker, stick on puck, but, this power play of the Devils when it gets cooking is unbelievable. And finds the seam. Great goal by Timo Meier, and great Sally fella. What a pass by Dawson Mercer there.
Dawson Mercer right on the tape of Timo Meier. Right under the glove of Igor Shesterkin. 13th goal of the year, 2-0 Devils. They weren't done, though. How about this? Another power play goal for the Devs and another goal for Jack Hughes. 2 on the day, 3-0 Jersey.
Instagram hockey. Not here, Jack Hughes. Great little play on the 4-on-3, and then just find Jack Hughes coming down the backside. Great finish by him, but all the entry, creating a little bit of space. Jesper Bratt, and then Jack Hughes timing it the right way. Mika Zibanejad had fallen asleep a little bit there. And then no chance for Jonathan Quick. He's weak on backdoor tap-in, so help him out here, defense.
I said Shesterkin, it's Quick. It really didn't matter who was getting the start in net today for the Rangers, because it was all Devils all afternoon. How about this? Another great pass there from the captain, Nico Hischier, right on the tape of Stefan Nason. 4-0 in period number 3.
This is all back checking. You see it start here. You have 4 Rangers players back, but somehow only 3 make it back. A little bit of lazy over back checking leaves the second wave open. Nico Hischier, and then if you're going to give up this play, you can't give up the backdoor tap. And once again, give Jonathan Quick the easy shot. Don't make him make a sliding save. Happen again.
Guess where we're at again on the power play. Lord have Mercer. Dawson Mercer. Third power play goal of the game for the Devils. Yeah, flex on him right there, youngster. 5-0.
Well, at least it wasn't a backdoor tapping, but it's just a guy alone in front. So missed assignments. This is that Rangers PK that has been good, but a lot because of the goaltending of Igor Shesterkin and Jonathan Quick. They've given up a lot of chances, though, in the slot and rely on their goaltending. And today was just too much for the goalies to handle. And this Devils team is flying. Get him, young buck. Get him.
How about this? The result today, the Rangers have now lost 13 of their last 17 games. It is unraveling quickly in the Big Apple for the Blue Shirts as the Devils take care of business on home ice by a final score of 5-0. Let's hear what Rangers head coach Peter Laviolette had to say about his decision to healthy scratch Chris Kreider.
It was just a lineup decision. We need more.
Him being a guy, though, that's been here as long as he has the respect in the locker room. I mean, does that add to the difficulty of a decision like that? Like, how do you approach talking to him about that and explaining it?
Any time you talk to a player about not being in the lineup, it's never an easy conversation. But at the end of the day, we're not playing the brand that we need to play in order to be successful. And he's a guy that we count on to help deliver that. And for me, it's those conversations aren't easy, but that's the decision that I made today.
Is that meant to not only send a message to him, but the rest of the room as well?
Yeah, if I have messages for the rest of the room, I'll tell them myself.
Do you feel like it's only been a month or 5 weeks? Can you kind of sum up or describe the fall? And Trocheck's in there saying we got to have more heart. That seems like a shocking statement to make for this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't like the way the game ended. I don't like how we finished the game today. I agree with that. There's the purpose in which we play the game has got to be better. We need more from everybody.
All right, so the Rangers heading into the holiday break, and things are unraveling. Look at the splits here. First 17 games, last 17 games. The numbers speak for themselves. JD, can you put your finger on what is going on with New York, and more importantly, how they get out of this funk here?
Yeah, zero identity, and you have from top to bottom, GM to players.
What was the identity to start this season? Did they have it at any point?
Yeah, early on, they're an offensive team. Obviously, they have great goaltending, but they're an offensive team that moves the puck well. They rely on their power play, but they need to get out to early leads because they play a counterattack sort of hockey, wide open a little bit, but they're not good they're not good chasing games from behind. And unfortunately, it's just they're not the toughest team, and now they've just been getting pushed around defensively. Their goaltending has stood up to snuff like it has in the past, which unfortunately it's not. I don't discredit the goaltending because the grade A scoring chance we just saw from those highlights there, backdoor tap-ins, guys alone, and they've done that the last couple years, but they've been able to outscore their problems. Now they're not getting it, and they just don't have any jam from their top guys right now, none. So I don't know if guys have given up on the coaching staff, but identity looks. You look at that first goal, Sam Carrick throwing the puck in the middle. You're a fourth line guy. Nothing against you. He's a good fourth line player. No identity. Chip the puck in. Don't try to make a play at that point in the game. Leads to a goal, and that's what it's been like for the Rangers all year.
You think back to last year's regular season matchups between these two teams, and just the bullying factor that went on from the standpoint of the Rangers to the Devils. They had the Matt Rempe effect. The last game, the last regular season meeting, they literally had to trade for Curtis McDermott to come in and just step up for somebody in that dressing room. How the tides have turned this season, where no Rempe in the lineup because of the suspension, no Jacob Trouba, obviously with the trade and stuff, and it feels like the toughness factor has now shifted to the New Jersey Devils, who get guys like Brendan Dillon and Paul Cutter in the offseason. And today they kind of had their way with the Rangers saying, all right, we're going to bully you around this time around.
Well, the difference is you look at the way the Rangers lost in the playoffs to the Florida Panthers. They got outworked. They got outmuscled. What does Chris Drury do in the offseason? Doesn't address really any of that. Gets rid of Barclay Goodrow, brings in Sam Carrick. Very much just a dollars out, trying to save some money. Doesn't do anything to the back end, doesn't get any tougher. What did the Devils do? They get bullied. They go out, shore up their decor, bring in some goaltending, address their depth, their bottom two lines. What has it done? You see the difference. That's a GM that's willing to make those trades, make those shots. assess your team from, you know, a beginner's lens of saying, like, what do we actually need? What do we need to address? And going out and doing it. Now, it's easier said than done because obviously you got to make money work, things like that. And they were trying to do it with the Trouba trade earlier in the summer. It didn't work out. Things got leaked. It got really messy. So I just think the way it's been handled has just been tough from the get-go. And you could see this stemming and snowballing from early in the summer. But, you know, kudos to the Devils for doing what they need to do. And Rangers, I don't know where they go from here. You know,
Can they salvage this? Can they get it back on track? There's a lot of hockey left to go after the break, but
there's a ton. But
it's getting late quickly.
Yes, but do I think they have what it takes to win? No, so I would retool because, you know, they're a team that wants to win. You just locked up Igor. You got to put something in front of Igor that's going to, you know, fight for him down the stretch. And what I'm seeing now before the Christmas break is not great. Obviously, they can figure this out. It's happened before. The St. Louis Blues are the worst team in hockey, ended up winning a cup. So it's possible.
The Oilers last year.
Yeah, but I don't think they have necessarily the same makeup.
It's not showing many signs of success going forward. Imagine where this team would be without their goaltending right now. Yikes. We do have another game in action right now in the National. We've got the Leafs playing host to the top team in the NHL, the Winnipeg Jets, and Kyle Connor starts the scoring here. He's up to 20 goals now in the year. That's a power play goal.
And that's just the way a power play should run. Quick shot within the first 10 seconds off the draw. The mechanic buries it.
1-0 Winnipeg on top after one. Here we are, opening 2 minutes of period number 2. Who else would it be? Kyle Connor again, this time on the backhand. He's got 2, and the Jets have a 2-goal lead.
Love this first line, everything they do. Scheifele, great block, springs Connor, and that little speedy man is going to get this right on the backhand. Great little executed 2-on-1. 2-0.
2-0. Leafs trying to get some momentum on their side. They've got a double minor here to go to work with. This in the first half of that, and it's John Tavares on the far post. Taps that one home. That's his 200th goal as a member of Toronto.
And this power play just seems to do great things without Austin Matthews and with him. But listen, without him, they distribute the puck well. They know where to go. You know, Johnny Tavares having a great season this year. Mitch Marner as well. So it's great to see this power play being able to click without Austin Matthews.
Leafs on the board, but a good response here coming up by Winnipeg. 2 minutes after the Tavares goal, this happens. Winnipeg going to increase their lead to 3-1. How about the backhand pass by Gabe Vilardi right on the tape of Mark Scheifele?
The hands of Gabe Vilardi are underrated. Playing a little juggling act here. Ooh, got it. Ooh, backhand, back post. Mark Scheifele driving the net. And he can score, not only pass. Great job by Gabe Vilardi sticking with it, keeping his eye and nose over the puck. Great pass to Scheifele back door.
Scheifele, 19 goals in the year. He's got 7 of those goals coming in the last 11 games. The Winnipeg Jets are 12.5 minutes away from heading into the break as the top team, most points in the NHL. 3-1 right now in Toronto. We'll step aside here on NHL Tonight First Shift. When we come back, we'll take a look at the 3 stars of the week and the feel-good story that is Patrik Laine and his new home in Montreal. Time now for the 3 stars of the week, presented by Geico. A couple of familiar faces on this board here. How about Patrik Laine, your 3rd star? 5 power play goals in 3 games. Big Willie, William Nylander for the Leafs. 5 goals, 2 helpers in 3 games. And Cale Makar, 1st star in the National Hockey League, 2 goals, 6 assists in 4 games. The Avs now 3rd place in the Central, and they are 3-1 in their last 4 games. Let's start with Patrik Laine, though, and what he's done. He's come back and played 9 games so far for his new team in Montreal. 8 goals in 9 games, all 8 on the power play. He has that Bell Center buzzing right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go good and bad with Patrik Laine. I mean, 9 games, he's already tied 3rd in the NHL in power play scoring. That is insanity. All scoring from the same spot. You see him really being embraced by the Montreal Canadiens fans and embracing them in return. And he's got that kind of Alexei Kovalev lore to him where they just loved him. A skilled, you know, European player that scores goals. They seem to really love him. He loves them. I've just loved what I've seen. It's just such a mutual relationship and mutual respect. And the good thing about Montreal Canadiens fans is when they get behind you, they get behind you in a big way. And those fans are knowledgeable. They know that he needed a little bit of boost confidence-wise, so they gave it to him. Now the bad.
Oh, no.
I don't love, he read today about, he talked today in the media, or yesterday and talked with the Columbus Blue Jackets, took a little shot at them saying, hey, they were too comfortable with losing. Here in Montreal, they try to win all the time. I don't love that. Just be grateful where you are. Don't go into the past, start bringing up stuff about Columbus. It didn't work for either of you. That's what happens in the NHL.
Yeah.
Fits are a huge thing. Chemistry is a huge thing. Don't go out roasting your old team, Columbus Blue Jackets, why you asked for a trade. Just say, hey, all's fair in love and war.
Yeah.
And in the business side
It's
of things,
going so well right now.
it's going
Why
so
upset
well.
it?
Don't
Yeah.
bring that negative energy into your life and just kind of stay positive. And that's what you've been doing. And that's what he did when he went and worked on himself and really took that mental reset, which
Yep.
I think is huge for him. So just stay in that positive, fella. Stay in it. You're crushing it.
Yeah. No, easy guy to root for, right? Just
Yeah,
the
big time.
vulnerability that he's shown over the last couple of years, the death of his father. He's gone through some stuff,
So
both
much.
on and off the ice. So to have him come back and see what he's doing in a new sweater, in a town like that you said the fans can really rally behind, it seems like a perfect match for him and that town right now.
Yeah, Montreal Canadiens fans, I'm a kid from Montreal. When you have a guy you're rooting for, you die with him, and it's fantastic what they're doing. They're just like lifting him up and lifting that whole power play up, which has been electric right now with him on it. And it's crazy he scored from the same spot every single time.
You know it's coming.
You can't stop it. It's
You
Alex
literally know it's coming,
Ovechkin-like,
yeah.
but good for him. Keep going, but stay positive, fella. Positive.
All right. How about this? The final day before the holiday break, we are absolutely loaded on this Monday night. We got 13 games on tap and some really good tilts as well. These are the early ones. Ton of 7 o'clock games. They're going to be busy on NHL Tonight. Caps and Bruins under Joe Sacco. The Bees seem to have really turned it around. The Caps, one of the top teams right now, maybe the best story in the NHL. Blues, Red Wings, Lightning, Panthers. I mean, you name it. Those the early ones. We talked about
Sabres,
Patrick
Islanders.
Laine.
Yum.
Well, okay. We didn't have to mention all of them. Hurricanes, Preds. That's like the fruitcake, right? Not everything about the holidays is great, or the in-laws, you name it.
Yeah.
Blackhawks, Wild Stars, Utah Hockey Club, and last but not least, Ducks and Golden Knights, rounding out the 13-game slate. Let's start with one of the early ones and the always entertaining Battle of Florida, right? The last 5 Eastern Conference champs have come from either of these two teams.
Crazy.
They played yesterday. It was a 4-2 win for the Florida Panthers in that one. Look at this, Braden Point. He's got 22 goals now in the season. Sam Reinhart, 22 goals. It always wasn't a sexy matchup. Now it is. This must-see TV when these two teams go head-to-head, regular season or in the playoffs.
Oh, it's going to be a great matchup. They just played their last game against each other. I think special teams is going to be huge. Tampa Bay gave up 2 goals on the power play and then got scored on the penalty kill. So they need to mind their P's and Q's there because the Panthers are playing on all cylinders right now. Alexander Barkov has been nothing short of MVP-like for the past 5 games since he's been back from injury. They're just clicking, and when they get hot and they start rolling downhill, it's hard to stop them. They just are able to crush you. So I think this is a big game going into the break for Tampa Bay. Kind of right the ship. I didn't love how they played against them last game. They need to be a lot more detailed because, again, whoever wins that detail battle against the Panthers, I mean, if you aren't able to beat them at their own game, you're in serious trouble, and detail's where it starts.
Spencer Knight getting the start, too, for the Panthers yesterday. So Bob will be fresh. He'll get the nod tonight. We'll see if they go back-to-back with Vasi, or I don't know what Tampa's going to do, but John Cooper always has something up his sleeve. How about the Stars and the Utah Hockey Club? They'll drop the puck at 9 p.m. tonight. Both teams, if you can imagine, have 38 points on the season. We talk all the time about Dallas being one of the powerhouse teams in the West, but how about Utah? Got off to a great start, and then things kind of came back down to earth, but they are rolling of late. They've got an 8-game point streak, 6-0-2, and a win tonight for Utah puts them into a playoff spot heading into the holiday break. What a story this has been for their inaugural season so far in the NHL.
Yeah, it's just been exciting to watch this team. They were exciting last year as well. They're really building something over in Arizona. Now that they're in Utah, they're really embodying their ownership group, Ryan Smith at the helm of it. Just excited, coming to the rink, relaxed. They're playing hard. They got, Dylan Guenther's been absolutely electric. So is Logan Cooley. That power play, you just watched a little bit of that power play last game. It is just insane how well they moved the puck. Clayton Keller is doing Clayton Keller things.
4 points.
Just so underrated. He's not talked about a lot. People are going to start noticing his name more and more. And then obviously for the Dallas Stars, they've been not great on the road, 6-8 and 6-8-3 from that. No, 6-8-0. There we go. I had it right the first time. 6-8-0 on the road. They've struggled, haven't found their game. Losing Seguin's a huge hole. But they have that dead cap space. I think they're going to maneuver and bring somebody in. But if you look in the West right now, this is potentially 2 teams that'll be fighting for a wild card spot, you want to say? I know Dallas had higher hopes, but it's so tight in the West.
You don't think Dallas is a better team than that, than a wild card team?
With the loss of Seguin, it's tough. Who do they bring in case? I think they can kind of, in the interim, they can manage it. But injury-wise, and you know, it's tough to lean on those guys without Seg. Seg's has turned into such a fantastic two-way player. Him getting hurt, you could see it takes a hit on their penalty kill, also their power play.
They have so much depth, though.
There's so much, but again, over time, he's a very good player.
True.
He's turned into he had so much, they have so much depth, but he adds just another layer of depth in terms of getting on those large winning streaks and, you know, veteran leadership when you're on the road. So their road game has taken a little bit of a hit. So I expect them to, again, another team that's going to try to go into the break with a win. But, you know, Utah, I didn't love they were dominating Anaheim 4-1 last game, and then they end up kind of letting them claw back in, losing in shootout. But they keep finding a way to get points.
Get a point, yeah.
And that's it.
I love what
they're
building out there in Utah.
Yeah.
This game's at Delta Center. You were out there for their very first
Incredible
home
atmosphere.
We did the Altcast, the datacast the other night, in that game against Vancouver, and that was the night that the owners, Ryan and Ashley Smith, put out on social media, hey, we got some extra tickets and stuff. I think 700 tickets they ended up just giving out. Fans on like StubHub or something like that, and just packing this barn. And now they've got this whole Utah chant going that they're trying to, you know, cultivate and stuff. There's something special out there. I don't know. You just see everything on social media that they're building. You can hear and feel the energy inside that barn for these home games, even through the television.
Well, and they're doing all this with their back end severely injured. They're missing their two of their top four. They're missing Sean Dursey and John Marino. When they get those guys back,
it's going to be like trade deadline day.
Yeah,
like
it's
massive
they don't really,
additions.
I don't even know if they need to make a move. And obviously the center position's their only spot. They could probably pick somebody up to add some depth. But I think, honestly, if I'm Bill Armstrong and this group, I'm probably rolling with this team, rolling it. Because now you got, you know, Connor Ingram's out, but Karel Vejmelka's been incredible.
Yep.
He struggled last year, but he's been great. So you're set. You have two goalies. You got a 1-2. Stauber, who's from the minors, came up. He's played great, giving them serviceable games. So you got a lot to love in this team. And these are two teams that, you know, like I said, could be battling for a wild card spot or could be the 7-8 in that position. So I just all depends on what Minnesota does. In the Central.
All right, another late game. We got the Sharks on the road in Vancouver taking on the Canucks. Yeah, intriguing, both on and off the ice. Look at Vancouver. Yeah, last 10 games, 3-3-4. Yeah, but the problem is everything else that's taking place with this team and the so-called rift between JT Miller and Elias Pettersson, and the media just keeps wanting to bring it up and dig deeper on that. And both players have come out. JT Miller the other day was like, look, I'll bring Petey out. We can do this interview together. There's literally nothing going on between us. What do you make of the drama going on right now in Vancouver? Have you been on teams where there is a rift like this between teammates? And how do you guys coexist?
Listen, every team I've ever played on in my career has had at least two guys that not hate each other, but didn't get along, and they just don't talk as much. Again, once you get on the ice, you have a common goal, playing for your team, playing for your organization. That all goes out the window. Now, if you can't be buddies and you're fighting in the room, well, listen, square up in the middle of the room, lay it out, drop them, just figure it out. But again, everybody should know that we're playing for the team. The media should know that leave it alone, shut up, let them just play. Because again, JT Miller comes back from getting a mental reset, comes back into this absolute, all these rumors swirling. We don't even know the true story. If there is a rift, now you're creating a rift within the team. But honestly, your NHL hockey players play hockey. Don't worry about it. Once the game's over and you go out to your car, you don't have to hang out with anybody. You don't got to go to dinner with them. But when you get into the room, there's a mutual respect. You guys are playing together as a team to win. If you guys can't put your differences aside for the benefit of the team, I mean, I don't want either of you. Forget one person. I don't want either of you. Don't make the team pick and choose. So
the problem is they're two really, really good players who make that team go.
And they're smart. They're two smart guys. Everything I've heard about them, two smart, great guys. You don't hear anything bad about them as people. So I'm sure they can figure this out, and they both should realize, and they're smart enough to know that they can't win with either one of them gone. So they need to both be there if they want any chance of winning. And if I'm the GM group up top, or if I'm the coaching staff, I'm sitting them in a room if there really is a rift and saying, hey, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we're going to play hockey. Forget about it. Let's not be a distraction. And that's what I think they've already probably done. It's just the media just keeps, it's Vancouver. They keep just putting gasoline on the fire. And I think I loved what JT said. I'll bring out
Yeah, I'll bring them out.
They should do every interview from now on together.
Yeah.
They should just sit together and hug each other and say, hey, this is who we are.
Since JT Miller's come back from that reset, PD doesn't have a single point, though.
No.
So it's, I don't know. That kind of fuels the fire.
Well, that makes me nervous in terms of, can you put that aside?
Yeah.
Can you be the bigger man and say, hey, there's guys I played with I didn't like.
If you can't, and your front office, which player do you part ways with? Who's more meaningful to that team?
I even hate that we're talking about this because it just frustrates the hell out of me. Listen, for playoffs, you want JT Miller, but for longevity of career, you want Elias Pettersson. So you got to choose. Are you trying to win this year?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to create a long-lasting effect for your team and being very successful for long term? Because JT Miller's 31. So I think it's dumb to even talk about it. Obviously, we have to because this is what we do.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I was sitting in front of both of them, I'd tell them both the same thing. Forget about it. You guys get on the ice.
Make nice, and let's win a cup.
Yes. I had guys I didn't like, but when I went on the ice, I had to fight for them if they got hit from behind because I cared for them as a teammate and a player. If you don't like them, it's fine, but you got to respect each other enough.
Right? And you're getting paid millions of dollars to do that. Execute it. Should we end this on a positive?
Yeah, let's end on a positive.
Macklin Celebrini grew up in North Vancouver, right?
Good.
He's going to have about 50 to 60 family members, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents in attendance tonight. The youngster, he's going to be playing for free, isn't he?
For sure. He's going to be owing money.
Oh, my goodness.
He's going to be owing money. Ask Papa, who's, been a development coach for the Golden State Warriors, maybe throwing a few shekels.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Or Macklin's not doing too shabby either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't say generational.
As advertised.
But he is incredible. He's got Sidney Crosby written all over him in terms of his pedigree of leadership this young, plays a 200-foot game, battles hard. Yeah. Can score, can defend. He could still
play for Team USA World Juniors and still have another year of eligibility next year. That's how young he is.
He carries himself. I see him around the room all the time when I do radio stuff with the Sharks. He carries himself like a man. You would not think he's an 18-year-old. He's 27.
All right. Look forward to that one.
Though.
We're going to take a time out on NHL Tonight first shift. When we come back, it's like Christmas morning, just the day after for Christmas for hockey fans. The annual World Junior Championships kick off on Thursday. Our buddy Tony Granato joining us next to preview it.
3 Stars of the Week is presented by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
Welcome back to NHL Tonight First Shift. The upcoming World Junior Championships kicking off the day after Christmas, running all the way through January 5th. The gold medal game, Team USA in Group A, and they've got some stiff competition with Finland, Canada, Latvia, and Germany.
Canada.
Group B, Switzerland, Sweden, Czechia, Slovakia, and Kazakhstan. That is Group B. The gold medal game January 5th, and all the games Team USA right here on the NHL Network as we welcome in our very own Tony Granato, who will be on the call of all the World Junior action with our very own EJ Raddick up in Ottawa. JD's fired up. We're always fired up. Tony, we did the preview show the other day, and you've played in 2 World Junior Championships during your playing days. As a youngster at that age, pulling on the sweater for the first time, what does this tournament mean to these kids coming up?
Well, back then for me, it was the biggest moment, actually my first moment where you actually felt like, wow, you're an important game. Like, you play all your youth games and you play your high school games and you got like 25 people and some family in the stands. And all of a sudden you show up on an international stage and you go into a building and you got thousands of fans there and you're wearing your, like you just said, you're pulling over your country's colors. And it was like, wow. And I played in 1982 and 83. So this is only a couple years after the 80 team won the gold medal. And so USA Hockey had a big shot in the arm from the 80 team. And we were kind of, that next generation of players that was coming up and hoping to play in the Olympics and then hoping someday to play in the NHL. So that was the first time we got to have the opportunity to kind of play on a big stage. And it was pretty special.
Tone, Mr. Alcatone, let's chop up a little bit of Team USA here. Looking to repeat for the first time ever. How beneficial do you think it is for them to be having like 10 repeat players and that coaching staff?
Yeah, the 10 repeat players is amazing when you think about it. That means, 10 guys were underage World Juniors. And generally speaking, everybody says it's a tournament for older players. but to have 10 returnees is huge. They're all key pieces. The goalie's I guess the big key piece, and Trey Augustine. He was sensational last year. He continues his great play this year at Michigan State. He's coming in really hot. But then you got a Boston College line. Two of those three guys, Gabe Perreault and Ryan Leonard, will be on the wings. That was Will Smith's line last year. And this year, his center is going to be James Higgins, who's probably going to be the first pick in the NHL draft this year. So you don't have any drop off from that top line. All those returners back is huge. But I think USA Hockey made a great decision on bringing David Carl and his whole staff back. They won last year. They know what it's like to be in a tough situation, to have to win in Sweden and play Sweden in the gold medal game. Obviously, going undefeated last year. There's a ton of confidence. They did things right. They know their personnel. I think that's the biggest thing when you go into a short tournament, knowing your players and understanding what they're going to bring to the table, as well as the players knowing what the coaches expects of them is really important. And to have 10 returners is obviously going to help them along the way.
You touched on James Higgins. What makes him, in your eyes, the #1 overall going into next year?
You know, I tried to think of a comparable. I guess Jack Hughes is the most one fresh in our minds. He's elusive. He uses his teammates really well. He's great on his edges. He sees the game a little bit faster than everybody else. But his speed to be able to get to space is really remarkable. So, you know, another young American player, again, that has developed because of the models through whether it be through our ADM, where, you know, the younger kids start playing cross ice and then going on and playing with the development team. I think that the players that the Americans have been able to produce lately, a lot of that reflect to those two decisions that USA Hockey made. One, to start that development program for the best 16 and 17-year-olds to go to Ann Arbor and play as a team for a full year. And then the model for the youth kids to play cross ice rather than play full ice. I think that's helped our players' development along the way. So we're seeing more guys like James Hagan coming up that are extremely skilled and do deserve to potentially be the #1 pick in the draft. So he's filling in and playing with Perreault and Leonard. They played together all year at BC. They got a lot of chemistry. Perreault might be one of the smartest players that I've seen play in a long time. Leonard on his wing is a grinding, go through you if I have to type of power forward. So that should make for a real exciting line for everybody to watch here the next couple of weeks.
Tony, you mentioned the development of specific players. How about the development of this tournament? And, you know, I think we've done a really good job over the last 10 years at the NHL Network of showcasing the talent on display in this tournament. This is a big deal in Canada, Boxing Day. Literally everybody across the nation is watching this tournament. And if you are lucky enough to be one of the kids on Team Canada and you score a big goal, I mean, you are a legend in that country forever. And I think the American hockey fan is kind of gaining an appreciation and an understanding of how big a deal this tournament is. You're going to be there. How big of a tournament? How big of a deal is this tournament up there, especially when we get USA Canada coming up on New Year's Eve? Like, give us the lay of the land of what the atmosphere is going to be like inside that arena.
Yeah, JMO, first I point out that's a great job by you of recognizing the fact that it's growing in America.
He's a pro.
And yeah, you are a pro, but just, you know, Canada it's always been Canada's tournament. It's been the international tournament for the Swedes and the Finns and in this case, the Russians as well, who are not in this tournament. But that used to be their Stanley Cup for their countries. And for us as Americans, we now have players coming from every era. It used to be a regional sport. When I was playing, it used to be Michigan, Minnesota, you know, and maybe out in Boston a little bit area, there'd be players coming from. Now you get them because the NHL has done so well, because the NHL Network's promoted our game so well throughout the states. The kids in all these different areas are playing. So more people are watching it. More people are learning the fact that the players that are going to play in this tournament over Christmas will be in the NHL and be with their NHL teams, you know, within the next couple of years. So you're seeing the future stars. But it also is a kind of a halfway point of the season where everybody can get excited about this tournament because the whole hockey world is going to be watching it. And for these young players that are going to get the opportunity, it's their first real big stage opportunity where they're able to show off what they have. They're able to show their future NHL fans on who they're drafted by, on what they can expect. So I think it's just an exceptional time for a hockey tournament over the holidays, and it has, like you said, continued to grow in the U.S.
Great NHL Network plug by you there. That's really good. And obviously you got NHL tonight at 7, so everybody tune in. I just want to know, what's your pregame meal looking like today? What have you used to fuel the body?
Well, I can't go to our regular Italian spot that you're going to be going to. I'm going to miss you. You are a great dinner mate. You are entertaining. Okay, if I had a outfit, actually, can I show you one prop that I have with me?
Yeah. Come on now.
Sure.
Okay, so this is the only reason I have this. Someone asked me if I had my jersey for my first World Juniors. So this is it. So this is what it looked like back in 1982.
Oh,
Wow. That's a nice jersey.
Vintage, and but you guys got I don't have any Christmas decor, so I thought I'd show off my USA stuff since it is World Junior Hockey time. You guys are in the holiday festive mode. I'm in the World Junior mode right now. But to answer your question, if you want to meet for Italian tomorrow, I might be able to do it before I head out of town.
Does that work for you?
Ooh, that could work, actually. We're setting up a set of dinner plans. I like that.
Hey, don't let me or the rest of the audience get in the way of you guys.
No, my wife's
finalizing.
My wife will be upset if I'm going to dinner with her.
It sounds like when I heard the "Oh Canada" thing when we started to open the show that you're going to cheer for Canada. I'm going to obviously, as an American, be rooting for the Americans. Let's put a little side bet on for our next Italian dinner once post-tournament is over.
Yeah, I think Canada will take it. We'll steal it, like always.
Going to be a great. Both teams are easily could win, and then don't forget the Finns. The Finns have won 3 gold medals in the last 10 tournaments. So let's not look past the Finns. Somehow they find a way to perform at this stage, and the Swedes will be good, and Czechs will be good.
All right, well, that's why they play the games, right? So let the tournament commence.
No bias.
Tony, we appreciate the insight. Enjoy all that's left of, between now and traveling up to Ottawa, and we look forward to hearing you and EJ on the call of all the Team USA games coming up for the World Junior Championships.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, Merry Christmas to you as well. And keep that sweater away from Tony Luff. That thing's going to be stolen. 5-finger discount from T-Luff coming up. Anything red, white, and blue USA, that is in his wardrobe. When we come back, it's the NHL Tonight First Shift edition of a Yankee Swap. Who's going home with the best gift and who's unwrapping a team that they'd rather swap? That's next. How about this? Incredible. I mean, you talk about getting in the holiday spirit. This is a father and son brawl during a hockey game in Saskatchewan. It's men's league hockey. You got the dad who's 47 years old, the son 27, playing on different teams and just chucking them.
Who's
dad?
A
couple of days before Christmas.
Dad in white? Because dad gets the better of him.
There's a 20-year age gap. I can't tell.
I think white is dad because he throws a little left here.
Yeah.
Sneaky left. Yeah. Sneaky left.
Adds strength too. My goodness.
Well, this is.
I don't know.
This is in honor of. It is the beginning of Festivus, and that was Feats of Strength. So
oh my God.
Festivus is not over until you pin your father.
Can you imagine what Christmas dinner or Christmas morning would be like after, if you're the mother in that situation, your son or your husband just duked it out on the ice?
You kind of hope that dad wins, because I feel like if dad wins, there's less dissension in the house. And if son wins, it could be a little bit more trouble.
Too.
Yeah,
maybe a little
it's all right.
report to the feds.
We're fine. They were both consenting.
A beautiful Canadian tradition.
Yes, we're Saskatchewan.
Only in Seattle.
What do they do next, those crazy kids?
Hey, speaking of holiday traditions, we got to bring in we've got one JD. You can never have enough JDs. Let's bring in our producer, JD Lindbergh. There he is.
Oh, he's copying me again.
Tis the season, boys.
Look the part. That is well done. Mall Santa right there. You have a very holiday tradition that you love in your family as well, right? The Yankee Swap.
That's correct. Yeah, every year the Lindbergh family, we like to do a Yankee Swap. We gather everybody together. Some people call it White Elephant. We've always called it Yankee Swap. So we're going to do a hockey version of it on our last first shift of 2024. So, all right, Jamison, you're the host, so you're going to go first here. Pick a number 1 or 2.
Ooh. Let's go 2. 2.
Sterno, let's see Jamison's team. It's the Minnesota Wild.
Ooh.
So, Jamison, our question for you here.
Yeah.
More likely to win the Western Conference, the Minnesota Wild or Jason, what's behind your door? It's the Vegas Golden Knights. So, Jason, in honor of the Yankee Swap, do you want to keep the Golden Knights, or do you want to steal the Minnesota Wild from Jamison?
I am keeping the Golden Knights. The Vegas flu is in full effect this year. Minnesota, last few games I've seen some stuff that I haven't liked, especially playing the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. I thought they got pushed out of it a little bit. I think they need to address a few things, bring in a little bit more size up front, but the Vegas Golden Knights are poised to make a run. They look fantastic. Goaltending, everything is clicking right now, and I do think I'm going to stay.
Good, because I'd like to keep my Minnesota Wild. The question was to win the West in the regular season, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't think...
I think Vegas can go deeper in the playoffs. I think they're built. They have the Stanley Cup pedigree, the depth and whatnot. Yeah. What are you getting all offended about? Well, but to win the West, I think it's going to be the Minnesota Wild. I love what the youngsters are doing. Kaprizov, I mean, he's right up there for the Hart Trophy at this point. Might be the front runner at this point. And then I think they have the better of the goaltending situation in Minnesota right now with Gus. Gus the bus. I'm on that bus, at least for the regular season. I still think Vegas makes the deeper run playoff time. Like I said, they've got that pedigree, that winning, whatever that is in that locker room there. But
sweet,
the regular season,
it's a bet. Vegas is going to win the West.
What, are you just making bets with everybody on the show?
Yeah.
I got to get in on the Borelli's dinner train. That place is awesome.
It's good.
I'm throwing out Camus here like it's Tic Tacs right now.
So. All right. Hey, all right. So, Jamison, you mentioned a Hart Trophy contender. That's the focus of our next set of gifts. JD, pick 1 or 2.
6. Oh, sorry,
Come on now.
2.
2. Show him what he's got here, Sterno. It's Connor McDavid. That's a pretty solid pick.
He started late, though, so I'm not sure.
All right, Jamison, you ready for your gift?
Yep.
Let's unwrap font 2 here, Sterno. It's your boy. So, Jamison, do you want to keep Kirill Kaprizov or swap for 97?
Yeah, for as much as I love Kirill the Thrill, I'd be stupid not to swap this one. So here you go, and give me number 97, the best player on the planet.
I mean, Kirill, if he keeps going, he is definitely because of the group of talent around him, more so than Connor having Leon. I think
he means more to his team.
Yeah, I do, definitely, because that is the definition. But, you never know with Connor, because Connor's now hit the afterburners in terms of points, and he's just flying right now. So he typically runs away with it late in the season, post-Christmas, but Kirill definitely has a big chance of doing it. So.
Yeah, and I think Kirill has done it for the first quarter of the season or whatnot.
He's the first quarter, probably.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He has literally put that team on his back, said, come with me. And he's got a blank check waiting for him coming up at the end of the season, right? It's going to be unbelievable. I don't know what that number is going to be, maybe 15. But whatever it is, Minnesota needs to pay it. Yeah. Has there been a more valuable person in that franchise than Kirill Kaprizov as far as since he came over from the KHL, just changing the identity of what the Minnesota Wild are? No.
Well, no, because listen, the two guys they signed at those long-term deals, Suter and Parise, it didn't work out in terms of the price per what they got in return. Now that money's coming off the books, you got Kirill, got to pay him. It's
he
worth it.
He might eat up all that $15 million.
Yeah.
And worth every penny.
Now with the cap going up the next 2 years significantly, I think it's going to be it's perfect timing for them and Kirill. So they're going to get their guys.
Love them, but I'm sticking with Connor McDavid. That's my trophy winner.
Of course.
JD?
Can't go wrong with 97. No. All right, here we go. One more hockey-related one here. We're coming back to the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
Jamison, starting with you. Most likely to win the Metropolitan Division, give me number 1 or 2.
Oh, give me number 1, first place. 1.
All right, number 1, it's the New Jersey Devils, Jamison.
Yeah.
So that's pretty solid.
All right.
JD.
What are you unwrapping?
We're going to unwrap your gift here. Sterno, go ahead. It's the Washington Capitals.
That is a tough one because I was so surprised by the Capitals this year, and I just love that, and I'll bring the stat out a few times. They're the only team in the league. They're first in the league. They have 8 players with 20-plus points. That is depth scoring. I think depth-wise, they have an opportunity to, without Ovechkin, of all people who's been out, they've been getting production from all these guys. Goaltending, I love it. It's a toss-up, honestly. It's a coin toss, but I think I'm holding with Caps.
You're holding with Caps? Okay. Yeah. That means I'm sticking with the Devils, and I'm okay with that, too. I think they're two very similar teams.
Yes.
In, like you said, a coin toss. But I love what the Devils have done in addressing what they lacked the last couple of seasons. Yes. Sheldon Keefe's done a great job of kind of turning this team into, a defense-first focused team. Like, they've done such a great job of just locking it down over the last 20 games or so.
Yeah, they've been
The offense has always been there, the last couple of years. It's been a little too much run and gun the last couple of seasons. So
Yeah.
they've gotten the goaltending, and now they have a little bit of the grit, too, and guys like Paul Cotter, Brendan Dillon, like they are not afraid to. I don't want to say they're quite where the Florida Panthers are, but they can beat you or play with you any which way this season.
They have enough to beat the Florida Panthers. Now, I think Capitals win the Metro, but I did have the Devils to go to the finals and win the Cup. So
you're just stealing all the gifts.
Yeah. I'm Grinch. I'm the Grinch.
You're a mean one. I like it. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll take New Jersey for sure.
I have an airing of grievances in the honor of Festivus.
Well,
You came
hang
on
on one
camera.
sec.
JD, you
don't
came
think
on
we're
camera,
done.
and I didn't hear any ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas.
Got a good one. It's like the Heat Miser.
Yeah, I went as Heat Miser for a Halloween
Yes!
party one year.
I
Yeah,
love
my buddy
that.
Dave was
That
Cold
is
Miser.
a jam.
It was fantastic.
Are we done?
No, we got one more. We got to have
Yeah.
a little bit of fun here. You guys were talking about the Grinch, Christmas movies. That's another big part of holiday traditions. JD, pick one or two.
Well, Die Hard better be in one of these, so I'm going to go one.
He's going one. Give us font two, please. It is Christmas Vacation.
yes.
An absolute stone cold classic.
I love you got the box office numbers there, too.
Yeah, you know what? We spare no expense on the research of this
71.3
program.
mil.
Jamison, let's see what you've won here.
Did you know John Hughes wrote it?
I know now.
You do.
There it is. Die Hard.
Okay.
So
Also, I
Jamison,
did have
you keeping
it.
Die
Gotcha.
Hard or are you swapping for Christmas Vacation?
I'm going to swap Christmas Vacation and
Perfect.
I'm not going to tell you why because you'll just annihilate me. I've never seen Die Hard.
Excuse me?
See, just I can hear everybody in the back. That's how you end the show, I guess. Christmas Vacation, love it. It's on loop in my house. I've got a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and they just literally can't get enough of it. But yeah, I've never seen Die Hard. So this segment is going to Die Hard as well. I'm being told we've got to say goodbye. So unfortunately, there's nobody left to say goodbye. So we appreciate you for sticking around and watching. If you're still there, if you're not too mad, but this is the final first shift of 2024. And whether or not it comes back in the new year, that is yet to be determined. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm sorry.